From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big noontime here on LALATE this Sunday afternoon with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check the Democrats still want you to have. We'll go over the breaking news from the White House happening today about the path to the finish line and the voting process as well in the third part of this video. Then we also turn to fifth stimulus, which heats up this fall by raising your benefits up a lifetime and gives you an additional stimulus check. And we go over the thousands of dollars that viewers get across the board daily. It's your day to get it as well. There's a lot of breaking news in this bombshell of a noontime broadcast. I'm excited to give you all the details. The exciting detail starts right here, right now, on Noontime LA. Hey, good noontime, everybody. How are you doing? You crushing the Sunday? Are you crushing the weekend? I hope the weekend ain't crushing you. Boy, it's been a beautiful day so far here in Southern California. It was warmer earlier, but it cooled off. How's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat and tell me right now where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, today, we have the great news about that monthly stimulus check the Democrats want you to get. We'll be going over how much that stimulus check is. Then, in the second part of this video, we'll be going over the breaking news, the two-path process, the recon, and the bipartisanship. New suggestions from the White House. All great news, and why there's a fort going around your recon, that progressive relief coming to you of all the breaking news happening on noontime right today. And then the third part of this video, we'll be going over what the president said about vetoing and why he's walking back those comments, but an old villainous from 2020, the year 2020, is now coming out as your Laura Croft hero of 2021. I'll be going over that shocker in this noontime extended broadcast. And we got to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits lifetime, and the big money viewers continue to get. We got a lot to go over. And this is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, like right now, and taped in the afternoons. I'm next back with you afternoons LA. Do not miss that show, folks. That is going to be an OMG show, and the OMG starts right around the 8-minute mark, 9-minute mark of that video. Get ready for a shocker. Also, tune into Evenings LA tonight, which is going to be even more shocking. That's at 5 o'clock, and then the other one's at 3. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. 1 year, 400,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button and jump into the live chat right now, a subscriber-only chat. Also, like this video. Consider liking it because it gives you a free guest ticket to the casino. You can't go, just the guest. Consider becoming a member. Membership links at the top of the channel and pinned comment. Let's get right into that monthly stimulus check that the Democrats want you to have both the House and the Senate. The calculations are slightly different. The payouts are slightly different. Let's compare and contrast. And let's start right here. House, monthly for the pandemic plus 1 year. Senate, monthly, July to December. So less checks with the Senate. Let's look at the payouts. House, 1,000. After the first month, 2,000. Senate, monthly, unknown, but word on the street. Senators want you to have this. Wow, now that's deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. If you're on the live chat just after 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate. Tell me also where you're tuning in from. But let's go back to this. Pandemic plus 1 year, well, the legislators may contend the pandemic's over, and if they do, that will reduce you to just 12 months of checks from Tlaib and Jalapal's bill. That amounts to $13,000 from the House. Compare that to 6 months, and this from the Senate Democrats? I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now. Vote House or Senate. House or Senate. I want to see you vote in and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Well, Who gets that fourth stimulus check? You do. The Democrats represent everyone that got a third stimulus check will get a fourth stimulus check. That single individual, 75,000 or less, you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less, double it, you get a fourth stimulus check. Those Democrats want you to have one. The Democrats want people on benefits to have a fourth stimulus check, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. And the Democrats represent that people who are a family of four will be getting a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. The fourth stimulus check would be the same amount for everyone. The fourth stimulus check is not income, so it ain't taxable. And if you see the fourth stimulus check anywhere else, then remember, it's monthly. It's not a waivable check. So if you see the check at the beach today and you try to wave at the check and say, hey, check, surf's up, cowabunga, my friend. I didn't wave back. I hope you wipe out. Break out and wipe out. Wipe out and then break out. Well, no one likes a check that, breaks out in the sun. Then it turns into a red check and then matches me. And then it's like Russia. Okay, let's just stay with this. So there you go. That monthly stimulus check will be going out in the month of July for the month of July. And in the month of August for the month of August, it would not be red because Russia's not sending out the check. And the final vote on the check would be by July 4th, the Democrats represent. That is your first of your three-part update. But boy, the breaking news on the second and third parts of this update today, OMG. By the third part, you're going to be, wait a second, slow it down. This is like a little bit elaborate. It is elaborate. And I'll be walking back the walking back comments that everyone's walking back comments. I won't be walking you back. I'll be walking you forward. And I'll be showing you when you're getting that that surprise across the board. But first, let's turn to a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus. It heats up this fall with another stimulus check. That another stimulus check would come in January. The voting would start in the fall, finish around November, December, and would also raise your benefits up lifetime. But why is the breaking news from the Fed chair, Jay Powell, the news from the CPI, the PPI, and the Labor Department on Friday? Such wonderful news for you. I'll explain to you in the second part of this video. But let's get some money. It's Sunday, and you're going to the beach. You're going to check out the check that's not going to wave back. Put some suntan lotion on that check. You're breaking out. And you need some money. So get a pen and paper ready. And I'm going to go over the big money you can get from this channel. We're going to go over rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities. It's a lot of money, and it's all third stimulus, and it's available for you. When third stimulus passed earlier this year, I told viewers, hey, you're going to get a third stimulus check of $1,400, but you're also going to get $5, $10, $15, $20,000. And now viewers are killing it. This last week, one viewer got $12,000 for rent. One viewer. Another viewer got $11,000 for rent. The week before, one viewer got $6,000 for SNAP, and the week before that, another viewer got $6,000 to $7,000 for SNAP. Get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to go over a lot of money for you. That's what I do on this channel. If you're new here, that's what I do. When third stimulus was passed, when second stimulus wasn't passed, we needed money. So I stepped up and I got viewers big money for rent, $250,000 late last year in December. Viewers like Tyrone got $15,000 for a family of four in Boston for rent. But a year ago this month, I was getting viewers $25 million of EIDL loans to save their businesses, their homes, and their employees' homes during the pandemic. So get that pen and paper ready. Let's get to the details. You're going to start with that rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. The rent's a lot of money. It's about $5,000. 4 to 6 months of rent, except when the viewers disprove me by getting $12,000 for rent. Each place you're going to reach out to has different eligibility. So if one says no, reach out to the next. Are you ready with that pen and paper? And if it must be Crayola Crown, then don't ask me if this is Cardinals blue, because it's not Cardinals blue. It may be red for another city. And you never ask me, is it for that city? You never ask me, but you do ask me if it's Cardinals blue for KC. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Canute. You just want to get that KC shout out. I see it. All right, you're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. The keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. That's what you're looking for. Rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID, or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't use words they don't know, like stimulus. They don't know that word. Or Mitch's aerobics ensemble. Oh, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. I don't know that, and I don't want to know that. So there you go. That is the big first pot of money, and congratulations to Tim and Linda who got it. The next pot of money is the SNAP, and we've already heard about their success stories. If you've had a success story, please jump into the live chat right now and just explain what you got from this channel. It inspires me, inspires other viewers. Every viewer who sees someone get $10, $100, $150 a month for SNAP, it inspires other viewers. So jump in the live chat and share what you got. And the next pot of money is SNAP. It is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. It pays a lot for this food. How much does it pay? A family of four in Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year now because of they live as a family of four in Hawaii. Wow. Why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. Congratulations to Lynn, Glenn, and Gail who got this money for themselves and their families. And the final last pot, but boy, I mean, viewers just killing it. $16,000 for SNAP, $5,000 for rent, and we are only 10 minutes in this video. Well, I got more money for you right now. It's $5,000 coming back from your states. Yes, one viewer got this check for $5,000. What is it? The federal government has identified states as owing you money back for unemployment due to computer error. States had overpaid you due to computer error and then asked you to return the money, which you did. Well, the federal government said, no, that was your money to keep. So now the federal government has ordered the states to return the money to you. Yes, so where's it going to land? Direct deposit. When? Reach out to your state and ask your state, hey, that check due to computer error, when am I getting it? And can you track it with a computer that actually works this time? There you go. And finally, the last pot of money is the IRS refund. If you got to jump in the live chat and tell viewers you got it as well. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it, and let's go over the details. How much, when, where, and how to track it. How much? If you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits, you paid $5,000 of total taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. You're getting back $4,000. When? This month. Where? Direct deposit or in the mail, depending on how you had it set up. Can you track it? About 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov and do a transcript search. You'll be shocked what it reveals. It reveals the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, what favorite pop singer is on Janet Yellen's iPod, and what does Bernie Sanders' mittens actually resemble? And then finally, it'll reveal this check you're getting back from IRS, and it's time. Can we top that? We can, as we get to the second of your three major breaking news reports about your fourth stimulus starting right now. Fourth stimulus a week ago today was in a recon path, a monstrous recon path that involves only Democratic votes to pass it by Democrats. Today, it's the same place. It's the same place. So what's different? What's different is that certain things that were in the recon are now gone from the recon. Things that had nothing to do with you. Things that you didn't own. Roads and bridges. And if you own a bridge, I don't want to buy it. So what happened? Over the last few weeks, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have been meeting with the president quietly and saying, this recon, Mr. President, is too big. We need to take some things out of it. Sort of like a TV sitcom with too many cast members. We have to take some cast members out of it and spin them off in their own show. And then last Wednesday, they had one final meeting and said, we are doing it. And away went the spinoff. The spinoff announced was Roads and Bridges. Roads and Bridges would be spun off out of the recon. And suddenly, we had two paths. Your original path, recon, still the same. And now the spinoff, bipartisanship. The bipartisan has your Roads and Bridges in a new spinoff series. The stars, Roads and Bridges. Your stuff, still in the original TV show. Fourth stimulus, checks, climate, cares economy, checks for adults, checks for families, checks for seniors, seniors medicines, lots and lots and lots of progressive checks, still the same place. Well, that's sort of interesting. So nothing happened to our stuff? Nope, nothing happened to your stuff. But two really great things came out of this. One, the perception of your stuff became very clear. Why? You certainly saw the fake narratives over the last couple of weeks. It's Roads and Bridges. There's nothing progressive in there. Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Now, For everyone who wants to say it's just roads and bridges, you can say it's in the spinoff. The roads and bridges are in the spinoff. They're away from our darn checks. Thank you. And so now it's actually much clearer that all your money is where it was, and that all that other money that doesn't concern you, roads and bridges, is in the spinoff. Remember, the bipartisan spinoff now has the roads and bridges, and that all your money stayed where it was, in the recon. And with that, we have two paths, recon and bipartisanship. If it sounds as though we had a spoiler announcement of the recon a week ago, we did. We did. When Jalapal had said, and the president, and that progressive Brian Schatz, Democrat senator from Hawaii, that the progressives were protecting the president's policies and the president was protecting the progressives' policies, we wondered, why are you all protecting each other? What are you protecting about? What they were protecting was, in essence, a progressive fort of social reform. That social reform is the recon. And while there was other stuff in there that was not progressive and not social reform, that stuff is now out of the fort. It's no longer in the fort. And now for the other second reason why we're in a better place now, all the wonderful progressive policies that can be as progressive as they want stay in the recon and are protected in a fort that is secured with the president's progressive climate and cares economy and the progressive House members and senators' checks. And there you go. Suddenly everything got so much better. Now, what else happened with that two-path process? Well, that two-path process got an interesting series of comments late Thursday. Late Thursday, the president came out and said these exact words, that the two paths will follow as two paths. They will start in the Senate, and those two paths will go to the House. Then those two paths will come to me. But if anyone tries to disrupt my recon, oh, you better not. Well, what did he say on Saturday? He said it a little bit more emphatically, which is actually quite refreshing. Finally, the president said, stay the way away from my recon, and you better not touch it, because I am passing my recon. So what did the president change between Thursday and today? He changed one word, starts with a V, and ends with an ito. Veto. He had said a comment on Thursday about the veto issue. He had said that if you try to send me bipartisan to my Oval Office desk and not recon and throw recon by the side waist of the side of the road, I will veto the bipartisanship. What did the president say today? I'll give you that big revelation in the third part of this update. And boy, you are going to be surprised by this twist of the turn as suddenly a villainess from 2020 is your hero, your Laura Croft of 2021. Boy, who would know this? This is shocking. How did we get to this spot? We got this spot from Jalapal, who had written Schumer a letter saying, Chuck, call the vote. She had asked for calling the vote on the recon that has your stimulus in it. And that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats who were among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter weeks earlier saying we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that? We can. As 7 House subcommittee members, who I'm going to get to back in a second, wrote the president a letter about a week ago saying, Mr. President, when we write the fourth stimulus checks, we're going to be writing them as monthly, and they will be in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Who are these people? They're on the House subcommittee that wrote your first stimulus check, your second stimulus check, your third stimulus check, and they're on the committee that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks. And they represent they're writing a fifth stimulus check for next year as well. OMG, can we top that? We can. With this shocking third development, 2 weeks ago, yesterday, the president goes overseas to anchor fourth stimulus recon to the finish line by making it easier for fourth stimulus recon to get passed by an international agreement about international taxes. And notice how I said the word recon twice? The reason why is that of the two paths, only the recon is paid for by raising the corporate taxes, not the bipartisanship. And so what did the president do 2 weeks ago? He went overseas to help pass his recon. Yeah, you see the trend line here? It's all wonderful news. Let's go over what he did. Fourth stimulus recon is paid by raising the U.S. corporate taxes, to which the president had said, I'm worried about you raising corporate taxes because businesses may move overseas to a country that has lower corporate taxes. And then he reached out to those countries and said, raise your taxes. And then he said, okay, maybe, yeah, I think so. And then he reached out to his staff and said, staff, I think we should bring some potpourri to those countries in December. Jill's potpourri would do wonderful there. And then the staff said, no, Mr. President, you can go right now. Right now. So then 2 weekends ago, he went right now and had those countries sign on the dotted line, anchoring fourth stimulus recon to the finish line, because now the countries sign on the dotted line before fourth stimulus recon gets passed, making it easier to pass fourth stimulus recon by Democrats, because the international agreements about corporate taxes are in there and are no longer needed in the fourth stimulus recon. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Can we top that news? We can. As you're ready to see a major shocker in the third part of this update, as your villainess from 2020 becomes your Lara Croft hero of 2021, telling Americans that she is going to throw it in the garbage if she doesn't get her way, and gives you exactly what you've been asking for. Really? Is she trying to make up for everything from last year in one event? This is wonderful, wonderful news. That's coming up in the third part of this fourth stimulus check update. Plus fifth stimulus. Is there anything more wonderful? Yes. The volunteers. If you've had problems finding that rent, utilities, mortgage, and internet, and SNAP, don't worry, reach out to the volunteers. They're on the community page. How do you find that community page? Open the description of this video. Go down the description. You'll see the volunteers, the community page. You'll see an emoji of a house, and then it'll say community page. Click the link, and it'll send you over to news.lalate.com/community. On the community page, you'll see the volunteers separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They're below some kitty cats, a picture of some kitty cats. Reach out to them and they'll help you get that rent, utilities, internet, and also SNAP. Now, they can't cook you a tostada. They cannot give you directions to that San Francisco hairstylist. They do not know what AOC does with her free time. And they do not know if Pat Toomey is related to Mitt Romney. But they can at least get you big benefits covered in this video. And I'll be back in 60 seconds with an exciting shocker in that big third update about your fourth stimulus and also your fifth stimulus. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LA with a big shocker about the voting process unraveling and exciting news. This Sunday, you're going to hear for the first time on Noontime LA. Wow, this is a shocker. It's coming up in just a second. And also fifth stimulus, which give you an additional stimulus check. But first, subscribe. At 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. I want you part of this family. Join me next on Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock and then Evenings LA at 5 o'clock, followed by Overnight's Crypto at 5:30. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video. Every like helps. It also delivers you swimming goggles. I don't know where that came from. I mean, that's what I've heard. And then consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and pinned comment. Let's get to the breaking news about fifth stimulus right off the board. Fifth stimulus starts this fall, and that fifth stimulus is wonderful. Another stimulus check? Yes. For January 2022, the voting would start in September, would be done by October, November-ish. And there we go. Next, the president's dedicated $1 billion, he now says in his budget, to SSI and SSDI, the Social Security Administration reform, to ensure that checks go out on time. This is not money for you, but to change the system, to ensure that more staffing, newer computers, gets checks out on time. This is fourth, fifth stimulus checks, and benefits checks. Finally, Jay Powell. Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve this week, said that we need in this economy more stimulus to January 2022. Wow. He's been saying this all last year to the very present. I've been running his stories every single day. And he says that we need stimulus, Fed stimulus, and he will give Fed stimulus all the way to January 2022. This is huge because he's basically validating the need for fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus. He also said that in December, we will reach the highest point of inflation that month. This is absolutely astronomical. As we look to fifth stimulus, reform of your benefit system, let's go over all the details and the calculations right now. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply that inflationary benchmark. They'll remove the asset limit, and then they'll remove the marriage penalty and remove the income exclusion. Let's go over the details you need to know. What are they going to do? First, they're going to raise everyone's benefits up under fifth stimulus. Who's you? You. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, Survivor benefits, SSA, Casino benefits. Casino benefits? Multiple benefits. And then they'll apply a benchmark. You know what a benchmark is. It's what they use every December to determine whether to raise your benefits or keep them the same for next year. And you know that the new benchmark proposed in this is inflation. You also know that inflation's going up. That's pretty easy. And I've also talked to you that you have to hope that the inflation rate hits its highest spot in December. Well, suddenly, of three things that we hope for, one has happened. We hope the bill becomes law, we hope the inflation hits its highest point in December, and we hope that it's a very large number. And we got number two. Jay Powell saying it will hit that highest point in December. Wow. So let's choose a potential number. A lot of analysts, based upon the labor number on Friday, the labor number on Thursday, the consumer price index, and the PPI, all say that inflation may be going from 4% now to about 10% in December. If it's 10%, let's use that example. Your benefits would go up next year, 10%. But not just next year, lifetime. Because the way benefits works is they step up and they never step down. So if the year after that the inflation rate is 1%, then you'll be at plus 1 plus 10% that year. And the year after that the inflation rate is 2%, you'll be at plus 2 plus 1 plus 10%. It's wonderful news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law, which is going to go away, which prevents you from having more than $3,000 on hand. Now you'll be able to have more than $3,000 in hand and a Crayola crown and a stimulus check. And, maybe a taco. They're going to remove the income tax, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Now you'll be able to work if you wish and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. You'll no longer fear loss of benefits due to the marriage penalty. Viewers like Sandy and Rob will be able to get married and no longer fear the marriage penalty. And there you go. That is your fifth stimulus. But boy, how are those viewers getting that $12,000, that $11,000, that $10,000, that $6,000? All I got was a stimulus check. How are they getting that money? They're becoming members. The link's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Members are delivered daily from me a breakdown of all the money in third stimulus, fourth, and fifth. When third stimulus was passed, I said we are not a channel that tracks a check. We're not looking out the mailbox to figure out what day a $1,400 stimulus check is. Rather, we're cashing $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 checks from third stimulus because they're in there for you. You have to apply for them to get them, and viewers are getting it. So consider becoming a member to learn how to get all this big money because the money is there. And fourth stimulus has more of that money proposed as well, and also fifth stimulus. Which brings us to the final big finale update and the shocking breaking news of fourth stimulus starting right now. It's fascinating because as of Thursday, we had two paths announced to us. Path one, which is the original path, the recon, And path 2, the new spin-off path, which is bipartisan path. Your stuff is still in the recon. For stimulus, checks, climate, cares economy, checks for a lot of people, seniors and adults and families and children. And then a spin-off, the bipartisan, roads and bridges. Later on Thursday, the President of the United States used a key word, veto. What did he say? This is what he said. He said that if you try to send me only the bipartisan agreement and not the recon that has all that stuff that I want in it, the recon, I will veto the bipartisan. Now, immediately that caused tremors. Minutes later, Nancy Pelosi said, well, I have a comment as well. More about her comment in a second. And Chuck Schumer had a comment as well. So what did the president do today and late yesterday? He issued a statement because he was under fire for using the word veto about something he had just agreed to, a bipartisan agreement. So what did he say? Watch carefully the phrasing of what he said. He said, I misspoke. I never intended to suggest that I would veto the bipartisan if it came by itself. But I want the two items to come together in tandem, linked. I have urged Chuck Schumer, and he has informed me that he will attempt to call both of them for a vote at the same time. And I encourage that these items both land on my desk at the same time. But please be warned that my party will not allow anyone to try to disable or dismantle the recon path. Oh boy. So it was really like I'll walk it back and I'm going to come back with you more. So he basically said, yeah, I'm not going to veto your bipartisan, but understand, stay away from my recon. Don't you dare mess with my recon. Wow. Now, so who's the Laura Croft? Is it her? Yeah, it is her. Guess what she said? The Temple of Doom suddenly became your hero of 2021. Because not only does she want you to get your recon, but she's willing to throw in the garbage can the bipartisanship if they try to dismantle your recon. What was her comment on Friday? That when these two paths start in the Senate, recon and bipartisan, they better finish both in the Senate with an approval. Because if you only send me from the Senate to the House the bipartisanship, I'm throwing it in the garbage can. Because you must send me the recon also, at least. Wow. That is a winning statement. Now, Chuck Schumer, I think, is about as obvious can get. Chuck Schumer, who has been fighting the recon fight for 6 months, do you think Chuck Schumer's going to call a Mitch McConnell-ish thing first for a vote before his own thing? Of course not. So what did the president do? He's basically having Chuck and Nancy do all the legwork and just walking back the veto comment. So to recap, where are we? Chuck Schumer is protecting the fort of recon as it's literally a fort and will be absolutely ensuring that recon passes and that nothing with the bipartisan path impacts your recon. And that once recon is passed, it is definitely going over to the Senate. It is definitely going over to the House. That Nancy Pelosi is also watching your recon because if anyone tries to only pass bipartisan and throw recon by the side of the road, she will throw the bipartisan by the side of the road. OMG, I am loving it. Dramatics like you have never seen. To recap, what's important to note is that, one, they can still get your stimulus checks out in the month of July. Number two, there were some comments during the commercial break, and I love what you did. One viewer asked a question, very common, easy question, and other viewers answered for that viewer. The viewer said, so you're saying I can't receive my check on July 4th? Okay. We all know no one is receiving a check in the mail on July 4th. Chuck Schumer's comment 9,000 times over, and Nancy Pelosi's comment 9,000 times over, is that the recon will be called for a vote by July 4th. That's not that you're going to receive a check by July 4th. And so I really loving the viewers' comments that you have taken the information on this channel and learned from it, and were able to answer that viewer's question. Finally, Purple Power Push. This is so important. This is so important. It is one thing to be informed about what's going on, but it's another thing to also push. On Friday, on noontime, on this show, WR jumped into the live chat, and he said, I have been listening to your messages where you say to tweet and also pick up the phone. I picked up the phone. Who did he call? He called Senator Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's closest confidant, and also part of the bipartisan group, ironically, that did that bipartisan path. What did the viewer do? Exactly what I said. Had a discussion, did not leave a voicemail, actually had a discussion with a staffer, very professional discussion. And the takeaway of the conversation was the secretary told WR, yes, Senator Coons is currently writing the Senate MSC, multiple stimulus check. Now, I don't want to do a double wow with you or that's wonderful comment. What I want to say is that if you are sitting and watching this video and holding a donut and say, wow, that's delicious, give me another donut. Don't do that. I want you to put the donut down, and I want you to pick up the phone and do the same thing that WR did this coming Monday, this coming Tuesday. I want you to pick up the phone and call your Democratic senator. And if you don't have a Democratic senator, then call up another state's Democratic senator. Or call up Coons, or call up Sanders, or call up Warren, and speak to the staff and prepare ahead of time what you're going to say. That we need multiple stimulus checks. We know you want to give them to us. We know you've been fighting for it, but you need to ensure you keep it in that recon. And this is why I need a stimulus check, because I'm in debt, or I'm still unemployed, or the pandemic has shut down all the businesses in our town. There's no new businesses. We can't find jobs, whatever the story is. Imagine in a video just like this, where currently in the live chat right now, there is currently about 3,400 playbacks at the moment, but it's only 20 minutes of this video. Imagine if half of the viewers right now called up, made phone calls on Monday. Imagine the impact you would have. So don't be a donut person. Don't say, what day am I getting a check in July? Because ultimately you have to push. They need to hear from you. Also go on social media. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. And finally, narratives. I'm very happy about the fact that the roads and bridges are spun off. Why? Because finally the recon has an identity. It's the stimulus relief. You have seen the fake narratives over the last 3 weeks. It's all about roads and bridges. That's all it's about. Nope. Now the roads and bridges are far, far, far away from all of your money. Now no one can sit on social media or sit in the comments and troll around and say negative things about your money, because roads and bridges are far, far away, separated from you. And suddenly, now the president, Pelosi, and Schumer are, and to start, I mean, there's a lot more. There's also Blumenthal and Sanders and Warren are adamant. We are passing recon. All the progressive policies we need in recon will go in recon. And understand that early in this video, I talked about those House subcommittee members marking up the bill, putting monthly stimulus checks in there they so represent. Well, the fact that it's starting the Senate makes no difference at all, because in the third stimulus package, Chuck Schumer had Senate subcommittee members work with Nancy's House subcommittee members to draft up the legislation at the same time. So the great news is that the same path is still at hand. It's just starting in one house before the other. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big noontime broadcast. I'm next back with you at Afternoons LA at 3 p.m. That is going to be a massive show, so do not miss it. It's at 3 p.m., which is about 4 hours from now, followed by Evenings LA at 5 p.m. or 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then Overnights LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you get delivered to you daily all the big money that's available for you in third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning. I'll see you next on Afternoons LA.